There's a place at the bottom of the world where the oceans collide. A place where the winds almost never stop blowing, where waves can rise taller than buildings, and where hundreds of ships have disappeared into the deep. That place is Cape Horn. In this video, we'll explore why Cape Horn became the deadliest passage at sea, uncover the brutal conditions that claimed thousands of lives, and examine the legacy it left behind in maritime history. For centuries, rounding Cape Horn was the greatest challenge in sailing, a brutal passage that tested not only a ship's endurance, but also the limits of human survival. Cape Horn is located at the southernmost tip of South America, marking the boundary where the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans meet. This headland belongs to Chile, sitting at the edge of the Tierra del Fuego archipelago. But for sailors in the past, Cape Horn was more than a point on the map. It represented the last barrier before the open seas of the Pacific or the return to the Atlantic. It was also the most dangerous. Before the Panama Canal opened in 1914, there was no shortcut between the east and west coasts of the Americas. Ships carrying goods between Europe, Asia, and the Americas had no choice but to sail the long way around, braving Cape Horn to complete their voyages. What made Cape Horn so deadly was a combination of geography, weather, and ocean dynamics. The Cape sits at the latitude of 56 degrees south, right in the path of what sailors call the Furious 50s. These are the strongest sustained winds on Earth, circling the planet nearly unbroken. With no large land masses to slow them down, the winds gather momentum across thousands of miles of open water, striking Cape Horn with full force. At the same time, the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, the largest current in the world, pushes cold water from west to east through the Drake Passage. This creates an ongoing collision between the powerful Pacific swells and the opposing conditions of the Atlantic. The result is chaotic, towering seas. Waves here regularly reach 40 to 50 feet, and in extreme conditions can rise to 80 feet or more. Sailors call them Cape Horn rollers, waves that come from multiple directions with no clear pattern, making them nearly impossible to predict. Icebergs also drift north from Antarctica into these waters. In the era before radar and satellite navigation, these icebergs posed a silent, lethal threat to any vessel that came too close. Weather in this region changes quickly and without warning. A calm day can turn into a hurricane-strength gale in less than an hour. The combination of violent seas, freezing temperatures, and sudden storms made Cape Horn infamous among sailors as the most dangerous passage on Earth. Between the 17th and early 20th centuries, thousands of ships attempted the Cape Horn route. Many didn't survive. Historians estimate that over 10,000 sailors died trying to round the Horn. The toll was not just from shipwrecks, but also from exposure, accidents, and illness brought on by the relentless cold and wet conditions at sea. Hundreds of ships vanished beneath the waves or were shattered against the rocky shores. In the 19th century, over 800 shipwrecks were recorded in the waters near Cape Horn. Some of the most notable tragedies include the William Brown, which struck an iceberg in 1841, and the Dundonald, wrecked in 1907, leaving a handful of survivors stranded on a remote island for months. Life at sea during these voyages was harsh beyond modern understanding. Crews worked in freezing rain and gale-force winds, often climbing ice-covered rigging just to keep their ships afloat. Hypothermia, frostbite, and exhaustion were constant threats. Many sailors referred to rounding Cape Horn as a rite of passage, but for too many, it became a final journey. Today, most commercial ships avoid Cape Horn altogether, thanks to the safer and faster Panama Canal. But Cape Horn is still there, and the dangers remain. Modern cargo vessels occasionally round the Horn when size or circumstance demands it, and sailing expeditions often attempt the route for tradition, sport, or personal challenge. The Chilean Navy maintains a lighthouse and weather station at Cape Horn today, along with a small monument, a memorial to the sailors who lost their lives in these unforgiving waters. Cape Horn is more than just a remote corner of the world. It's a symbol of human resilience, the limits of exploration, and the raw power of nature. For centuries, it tested the skill and bravery of sailors from every nation, and for thousands of them, it was the last place they ever saw. The legacy of Cape Horn is not one of myth or exaggeration. It's a stark record of the cost of global trade and exploration in a time before modern technology made the oceans more predictable. Even now, in the age of satellite navigation and steel ships, the waters around Cape Horn command respect. The winds at Cape Horn still blow, and the sea still remembers. Thank you for watching this episode of The Drowned Archives.